Hello, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to this week's update. A little bit to talk about this week, actually. The Defiant is racing along. I might even get it finished tomorrow, maybe. Really looking forward to seeing it finished though. Right, quick update then. So clearly part one hasn't gone up yet, which is going to be the intro and the cockpit. I'm just such in a groove with the modelling, I don't want to stop to do the editing and then lose that mojo. So apologies for that. I hope you understand. And I just want to keep, as I said, keep the creative juices flowing and then plow on and get this finished. When it is finished, that's when I'm going to do the editing. Okay. Here it is. Painted, pretty much weathered. Just need to do a little bit of oils in the exhaust stain and then the airframe is going to be done. You're not going to be able to see the sort of weathered subtle patina from all the way over there. I will put up some pictures, but even then the camera is going to struggle, which is a real shame because the pictures are not going to do this thing justice. The way I painted it is it was primed, as you saw last week, with Tamiya primer, which was polished to give a really nice smooth surface. And then I laid down a sort of light, no, not light, dark grey brown colour. That was a mix of tyre black, a bit of black, a little bit of blue and some red brown. That dark grey base coat was then, apologies. I laid down some Alclad duralumin first, matte varnish, hairspray, then that dark grey coat. And that dark grey coat was fairly heavily chipped back in areas such as the inner wings, etc. That was then sealed with a varnish layer, MRP, and then hairspray again, and then the final top coat went on, which was a darker black. Essentially was Tamiya XF1 black with a bit of XF8 blue in it, and then that was chipped as well, obviously using the hairspray technique as before, and that gave a really nice worn chipped finish. When you look at pictures of Night Fighter Defiance, those that have had quite some heavy use, you will see a very patchy finish. That is because there were two paints. There was what was it, RDM2 Special Night, which was a harder wearing colour, and then the classic Night. I might have got RDM2, that might be the Special Night, but there's two. One is like a very dark sooty black that sucks in all the light. Absolutely crap for night camouflage, as it turned out, because the aeroplane just became a silhouette and you could see it. And yeah, that sort of harder wearing, but the night with a sort of sheen. So what they tended to do was use the night with the sheen as an undercoat, and then sprayed the colloquial name was lamp black over the top, and that really weathered. It also had a detrimental effect on the aeroplane's performance because it was so draggy, because it's so matte, yeah, really patchy appearance. Now I didn't want a really matte finish for mine. I could have got it if I used matte varnish by VMS. That's really matte, but I didn't want that. I did want a slight sheen, so I have used MRP matte, which does give that sort of nice sheen, if you like. I have used in places some VMS satin, because what I wanted to do is, obviously I've sprayed all the markings on this, and then I wanted a difference in sheen. I wanted the main black to be matte, and then all the markings to have a slight sort of satin sheen. Unfortunately, the VMS satin is almost identical in sheen to the MRP matte. So I haven't quite achieved that, which is a bit of a shame. But anyway, that aside, it's turned out really, really nice. The markings. So I made up my own markings, most of them. The PS is from the commercially available set. I say commercially available, it's free. You can download it if you've got a cutter and print it off yourself. So I used the P and S from that, and the upper wing roundels, and the B, the fuselage roundel, the codes, and the tail marking I made myself. Slight departure from the way I normally do things. Normally I'll paint the light colours first, put the masks on, and then paint the camouflage over the top, and then finish off with the darker colours in the roundels and markings. Didn't do that this time. Did the undercoat, did the camouflage, and then on the top, and then did a layered approach to the markings on top of that, and it worked very well. The way I always do my fin flashes though is I spray white, I then mask the white areas, I then spray the blue and the red, and then I put a one piece for each side, so there's two, obviously one for each side, mask over the top of that, and then paint the camouflage around it. Obviously easy in this case because it is, I'm going to sneeze any second now, don't drop it. Muscular, apologies for that. Bit windy today and the dust gets right up my hooter. So I put the one piece mask on and then I paint around it, and that way it's much easier. You don't get any ghost lines. Yeah, it's just much easier, much neater, I find. Fuselage roundels had the female part of the mask put on, then the blue mask put on, and then the red. Very similar to do the fuselage roundel, but I did the yellow first, masked that off, then the blue, then the red. The red had an undercoat of MRP Dark Earth, and then I just put the marking red, the MRP marking red, in the colour cup, so mix it with the red brown and then spread it on, and I find you get that terracotta red colour much more authentic. The blue is the MRP marking blue, but with a few drops of gloss sea blue in there, just to enrich it and saturate it a little bit more. The marking blue out the bottle is a nice faded marking blue, but it is a little bit too light, and even in the photos against the black makes it look lighter than it actually is. You get a better representation of the blue on the fuselage roundel because it's surrounded by the yellow. So the order I did things on the fuselage was I painted the PS first in medium sea grey. There is a bit of a debate, was it medium sea grey or sky grey? It could be either. If you look at photos, if the codes look really bright, then it's probably sky grey. If they look a little bit more sort of dull, then that's probably medium sea grey. And the photos of this aeroplane, they are medium sea grey, I think. So I did the PS first, then I did the roundel, then I did the B, and then I did the code. So working from forward to aft in that order. The reason I did that is I didn't want to do the P, S and the B and then compromise the position or the size of the fuselage roundel because I painted the B in the wrong place. It was just easier to do that. You'll note that the squadron code, 264 squadron, is forward on both sides. Some of them were like that. Some of them had the, it read sort of PS and then the code letter. But I've got a feeling that having looked at the photographs, most of 264 squadrons were, the squadron markings were was forward. So that's how I did mine. I couldn't find any pictures of the right hand side on that. One little tiny error that I have done is the code, the serial code. I just happened to look at a different aeroplane and I've done it slightly too low. It should be slightly further up when I look at the picture, but I'm not going to redo it. Life's too short. Right, it wouldn't be me making this model without a bit of a crisis. The radiator flap at the back, I managed to snap the corner off, which was extremely annoying. And then I repaired all that, great, and then I managed to snap it pretty much in half on the diagonal. So again, I superglued that, sanded it, repainted it. There we are. Right, so the undercarriage, as you can see, is silver. This particular aeroplane, N3366, was originally in day fighter camouflage, and then in August 1940, Dowding, who really didn't like the Defiant, he said that both Defiant squadrons 264 and 151 were to become night fighters, and therefore the aeroplanes at the time were repainted black over the top. So in the day fighter camouflage, the wheel wells and the undercarriage were painted in a silver dope or silver lacquer, and that's how I've done mine. Later build aeroplanes, so aeroplanes that came off the production line, I think from about December 1940, they had night wheel wells and undercarriage bits and bobs. Looking at some the Defiant build that Steve Evans has done in the Valiant book, he has painted some of his. He did a day fighter scheme, and he's painted some of the undercarriage parts in black. I'm not sure that is correct. Looking at the photographs, I think those parts, which are the parts closer to the wheel well, do appear black in some photos. I think that is shadow effect. So I've done mine all silver. Now, the Air Ministry said that internal parts were to be silver, silver paint, apart from the cockpit, which were cockpit green, and external parts were in the underside colour. That is why Spitfire undercarriage bays should be, where the wheel goes, it should be the underside colour, and then the inner portion should be silver. That's why the Hurricane had silver undercarriage and wheel well bay. So that's what I've done on this. I hope I'm correct. Someone will no doubt let me know in the comments whether I'm correct or not. But I'm pretty convinced. Right, so that's the airframe painted. What I have done is a little bit more weathering. I have got... I can't reach it. I should have prepared. I have got the ammo lock and load. They sent me this to try out, and I thought I'd give it a go on this. I've done some paint chipping with the silver, and I've used the dark brown just to accentuate that sort of worn, chipped black over black. And actually, it worked brilliantly. I know I'm affiliated with that ammo, and I am an ammo fanboy, but it was really quite good. I was really pleased with how that's turned out. And I shall be using that again in the future, for sure. Right, I have removed the masking for the turret, and I have put the turret in. It does go. It is a bit of a squeeze. There we go, and the turret goes in, and it looks absolutely brilliant in there. Now, what I have done is modified the doors. So originally, you would have seen last week that I had both of the turret doors open. I ended up dropping the bloody thing, and then I knocked the doors off. And then I thought, well, it actually looks a bit weird with both doors open. So what I've done is the right hand door is I've glued shut. But if you look at the from your perspective, let me just turn it around without dropping the bloody thing. Right, so from that side, it kind of keeps that profile. But from the other side, if you look at it from the sort of forward quarter from the right hand side, you can see into the turret because the door's open, and I really like that compromise. So I've done that. Let me just carefully take it out. In fact, if I put it back in, will it turn? Yeah, so you could, with all the bits and bobs in, I think maybe, no, not quite. It doesn't quite go on the 90 degrees. Like that. I'm sure it will if I just had a little play with it, but it's very fragile, including those gun barrels. So yeah, oh, I've got to be so careful. When it's actually in there, the sort of hump will protect the gun barrels. Right, so next job for this then is I'm going to do the exhaust stain. And then that should be it for the painting on the airframe. The undercarriage. The undercarriage and all the doors, that's all built and painted. So apart from the tail wheel, so I just need to paint the tail wheel. The propeller spinner and backplate is all done. And all I need to do is just the propeller blades, just weather those up and do the tips. And then I'm just going to do a little bit of oil weathering, just a little some dust effects, that kind of thing on the airframe, and that's going to be it. So I'm hoping finished tomorrow. Check out my social media. So I'll put pictures up on my Instagram page, Scale Modelling Cafe, and my Facebook page, Scale Modelling Cafe, and you can go and see some high-res pictures of that. But all in all, absolutely loving this, and it looks amazing. Some of you may have seen Jen Wright, her channel, Genesis. I always get it wrong. I'm so sorry, Jen. Genesis, something in Modelcraft. I can't remember now. Really sorry, Jen. She's just done a inbox review, and she also mentions the sort of layer lines. And she gave me a bit of a mensch, so I just thought I'd give her a bit of a mensch. So thanks very much, Jen, for that. Right, on with the news then. We'll just finish off with that. Some really cool news. So Fine Molds have released the box art for their 1/72 scale A6M50. It's the initial release is going to be the early production, and they're going to cover all the variants like they are in 1/48. I really want to get my hands on one of those at some point. IBG Spitfire. This was announced obviously quite a little while ago now, but it's out in August next month, and I have one on the way. There's the PR, what is it, A, B, and E. Let's have a look at my notes here. A, B, and E. And there's also the Mark 1A/2A as well. I'm getting that one. Not that interested in the PR one, but I am going to get the fighter one. I'm probably going to do it in 72 Squadron colours, my old Tucano Squadron. Yeah, with the initial release, they're including all sorts of bits and bobs with it, from resin exhausts, seat harnesses, canopy masks, all that kind of knob and George. So should be the complete package. Really looking forward to doing that one. So yeah, like I say, that's out in August. I'm home the first 2 weeks of September, so I should have it to bring back with me, and I'll bring you a review, and that is going to be on the bench as well. Okay, the Special Hobby Mosquito. So there's two in 72nd scale. The PR, I'm reading it off here, 16, and the Night Fighter 30. Both are out again next month. Ed Premium Hobbies has put them up for pre-order. Premium Hobbies, Ed is a channel sponsor. Ed very kindly sends me some MRP. I used some of the stuff he sent me on that. And yeah, he's got it up for pre-order. So I recommend going to see young Ed and getting that in. Right, the two-seater Airfix Spitfire is on its way to me as we speak, I think. So I think my mate's missus is flying in, I think this weekend. If not today, tomorrow. And then hopefully next week I'll have that. I will do an inbox review. I know there's some out already. Clearly, being out here in Saudi, I'm always in lag for getting stuff like this. But I really want to do that as well. I'm just putting in a little order. I got a couple of Hannah's vouchers for Father's Day off the kids. So I'm going to get some resin exhausts for that and some seat harnesses, some Federich seat harnesses. And I want to do the Irish one. Got a couple of Irish mates here. First Irish blokes we've had out here forever, I think. Anyway, so I want to do the Irish Aircore one because I think it looks really, really cool in that interior green outside. And I do a little bit of weathering on it, but not too much. And I'm going to do it canopies closed because I think that aeroplane is going to, you know, the lines of it, even though it looks a bit weird because it's a Spitfire with a lump on the back, I just think it's going to look much better with everything closed up. So that's what I'm going to do. And hopefully I will bring that to you. Yeah, so it's going to be pretty much straight from the box, that one. Apart from the exhausts and the seat harness. First Airfix kit since I did the Jet Provost. So a little while since we've had Airfix on the bench. Right, so much to do. Really can't decide what I'm going to do next. Yeah, I'm not going to even go there. I'm not even going to speculate. There we are. So I'm going to carry on with the Defiant. Going to do the exhaust now and start putting the final few bits and bobs together. And then hopefully get you some reveal pictures on Facebook and Instagram tomorrow. I might even do a pop-up, little sort of quick debrief thing. Yeah, I might do that. They've proven a little bit popular, it seems. Right, there we are. I'll leave it there. Thanks very much for watching, everyone. Take care. Like, subscribe, bell, button, press, YouTube, blah, stuff. And I'll see you soon. See ya. Cheers. Bye-bye.